In a way, I'm actually hyped. Although I have a very big feeling despair is winning, I am still feeling like there is something in this that, mm, well, is still on an emotional level that makes it a little bit more amazing. The angry anime fan, the despair reviewer, here to bring you Nanatsu no Taizai, chapter 296. Only 4 chapters left to 300. Is it possible that Meliodas may awaken at chapter 300? The thing is here that a lot of characters say that if Meliodas awakens as the Demon King, then their fates are sealed. So that makes me actually question, okay, then maybe Meliodas won't awaken as the Demon King. I mean, he probably will, but the problem is he has to be stopped. So who can stop him? Ban. And that's just gonna make a lot of people more pissed. So yeah, we are in a dilemma here. Because Merlin casts a new forbidden magic that is called chrono coughing in order to suspend the cocoon in time so that it won't develop uh, well into the birth of the Demon King. However, that will also make her vulnerable. Escanor and King do their best to hold off the other ones, as Ludociel has a talk about all this. He has and he has now drawn himself into true despair, as he believes that Escanor no longer has the strength to stop the original demon, and even though and not even Selderis, and also saying that there's no supreme deity, there is no one to combat the Demon King. And even Hendrickson chews him out for giving out this much. And for the first time ever, Ludociel actually seems to confess what he did was wrong. I mean, the humans revered him and put them faith in them. Uh, and at that time, he had lost himself in that situation. Ludociel of the Four Archangels, arrogant, conceited, overthinking, and in the end just used his pawns. So I guess the shock of finding out the truth about what his brother really was and many things more, as long as being dispelled through all this, well, awakened that things, made him finally realize that he sacrificed so much things that in the end it wasn't worth it. Everything he did was for the sake of victory of the Holy War, and in the end, uh, uh, it wasn't really worth it. But Hendrickson sees himself in a lot of in Ludiciel, as even he did so many cruel things. Although technically he was possessed by the evil magic of demons when that happened. As Hendrickson begins to collapse, he still says, despite the spelling, he still respects Hendrickson. No, I mean Ludiciel. Sorry, Hendrickson still respects Ludiciel. If I didn't know anything better, I could almost have sworn that there's some, that kind of chemistry here. I mean, there have been some suggestion that maybe Ludociel was homosexual. You know what I mean? Maybe he was, but that's not important right now. It's the fact that uh, as a druid, he always did follow. I mean, Hendrickson always did follow those goddesses. Uh, Even though he was disappointed of the way he treated Margaret and Gil. So, he also, uh, but in the end, it was also for the fact that when Ludociel found out that his brother was still alive, he showed that he wasn't perfect. Uh, but the thing is here, though, that what I just said about what I really thought is that both saying, just so we're clear, I'm not into dudes. Don't worry, I'm not either. So I guess what I just said is being shut down, or is that just denial? I mean, again, it doesn't matter. I mean, it would have actually made sense for Ludociel to be that way, and also Hendrickson a little bit because, well, it's worth noting that Hendrickson cannot talk to girls, but in the end, I guess maybe they're not. But who are we to judge that? Instead, they begin to talk that he should use him as vessels. But strangely enough, Ludociel refuses and instead heal his wounds and says that in the end what Hendrickson have done and many things more uh, reminds him of a friend who was also simple-minded, caring, and naive, that gave his life to save someone. Uh, so he's saying that he should just not die. So Ludociel decides to use what little time he has left as without a vessel to not possess another, but also say to Henriksen to not die. As Escanor is being overwhelmed and sent flying, he and loses the power of Rita. He switches back to his weak form, but then uh, but then suddenly uh, as the original demon is about to kill Merlin, Ludociel appears and blocks the original power and says that although he may not be able to hold his power for very long, he says he will hold his power at bay. So please just do it. As Escanor flying away, uh, he laments of the fact that what he was has always been absurd and well weak. But in the end, I mean, it's true worth that Escanor may have been turned arrogant when the sun power got to him. But it's strangely worth noting that even when he had that power, uh, Escanor still valued his friends. It was both him. He was just a little more arrogant, and he still always talked politely. So he says that it doesn't matter if he has to give up this power or his very life, but he just wants someone to protect the captain and Merlin. And it's during that time that he is saved by the most unlikely ally. Well, maybe not unlikely, but it's also a pretty, well, fitting ally. Because, as it says that we'll meet again in this shape. This perhaps is also a guidance of the sun. Yes, the original owner of Sunshine saves the new owner. It's the sun and the strongest, and they are both people are looking for their deaths, but also to protect, to atone for what they have done. Now they are together. What will happen when the two owners of the sun team up? Well, we'll see, won't we? Yes, I hope there is some hope here. I mean, Escanor being blown away right there, that was heartbreaking. And when he laments everything, there's just some very strong emotion there. And I have to say that when uh, Mael saves Escanor there, it's just a very heartwarming scene. So I have to actually admit that I liked this chapter. Ludociel finally went through some character development. I mean, he's still a dick, but, well, it is what it is. So yeah, they say that if Meliodas awaken as the Demon King, then all hopes is lost. Then I guess that means he won't awaken as the Demon King. Well, I guess we will all wait and see, won't we? Because it's 4 chapters left to 300, and a lot can happen then. So yeah, this chapter seems to suggest also that Henriksen and Ludociel are not into dudes. Are we gonna just take their words for it? Well, for now I believe that. And Merlin is throwing one last thing in it all. But can they defeat the absolute demon and Seldaris? Time will tell. Give me your thoughts if you have any.